o'clock.
All right. We got the little timer there. Hello,
Yes.
everyone. Hello, Facebook, YouTube, all of our followers. Hello, how are you? Hoping you
Hey,
guys can chime in.
everybody.
Yes. We've got Mr. Dan DiBardino of Crime Stoppers of Michigan. No longer Southeast Michigan, but Michigan. So I'm excited. I know you're excited, Dee, to have him on. He gave her a nickname, guys. So if y'all hear me say Dee, that's her.
That's D.
Yes, yes. And so during this particular conversation that we're getting ready to have, if you have any messages, any questions, feel free to chime in. Use the comment section. We'll read them off periodically throughout this time on the podcast, and hopefully we'll get anything that you have addressed. All right. How you feeling today, Dan?
I'm feeling just great. I'm delighted to be on your show, Lisa. I'm really pleased to be part of your program this evening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love our partnership. I just love it. Met some very interesting people, and I love what you guys do. I just love it. So, for those who don't know who we're speaking with, again, we're speaking with the president of Crime Stoppers of Michigan, Mr. Dan DiBardino. Dan, do you want to open it up?
I would love to, and I think we know that March is the National Criminal Justice Month. It's been designated that since I think around 2009 or 2010. It's a great time for all of us during the course of the month to talk about a lot of things pertaining to crime. And I'll tell you, Lisa and Dee, we're having great success in Southeast Michigan, actually across the whole state. Crime is down. People are getting more involved.
Let me get applause for that.
I think crime is wonderful. The largest city we have in the state, which is the city of Detroit, crime's down significantly. And this is a good time. And the relevance of the National Criminal Justice Month is for all of us to get involved with education, to get involved with advocacy, to get involved with all kinds of community efforts to create a safer city, safer community, a safer neighborhood. And we need to do that. We can't do that by sitting on the sidelines. And I guess my message to your listeners this evening, as a member of Crime Stoppers, we are. I'm sure many of you. I hope many of your listeners know who we are. We have two very specific programs: the 1-800-SPEAK UP that many people know, and the other deliverable or program that we have is the Center for Crime Prevention, and that falls right in line with this month's National Criminal Justice Month. It's an awareness month. It's a month for us to encourage ourselves and the public and so forth to focus on improving safety, improving the criminal justice system, and we can only do that by getting involved with the system itself and every aspect of the system.
Oh yes, I agree.
And one of the things I guess that people need to know is one of the main things that we can do is to make sure that we're cooperating entirely into the criminal justice system. Example, we should be cooperating and helping our local police departments. They're not there for the money because they sure as heck aren't making a lot of money. And they're there in the line of fire. At least by that, I mean, they go to work every day. They hope they come home every day. And there's a safety aspect or a threat aspect of doing what they do. But they're there for us. They're there protecting us. So if we can't do it, they can't do it. We have to help them with making sure that we remain safe in our communities and neighborhoods and schools and churches and so forth. And then the second part of that is where else can we get involved? Get involved with community efforts to talk about mental health, to talk about victim advocacy, talking about helping victims to recover from the effects, if you will, of crime. Going to things like our Crime Stoppers Center for Crime Prevention to learn how to live safely. That program alone has gun safety. We saw, what was it, yesterday? Another young kid
Yes.
in a car. The parent or mother or whomever leaves the kids to go get food in the store, and there's a gun in the car, and one of the kids is injured.
Yeah.
I mean, enough of that already.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we have in our Center for Crime Prevention gun safety programs, programs on human trafficking, programs on remaining safe if you're out shopping at night, all kinds of programs that people should be aware of. But this whole idea of National Criminal Justice Month is for us to get off our duffs and get involved. And that's what we need to do. We talk about mental health, but what are we doing about mental health? Are we volunteering? Are we supporting? Are we getting involved with it? Mental health plays a tremendous impact, has a tremendous impact on crime. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
It also drains us of financial health in our communities. It also makes things unsafe for many of us. All we got to do is look around and you see the effects of mental health all over the place. What are you doing? Don't ask the person next to you. What are you doing about solving the mental health problem? There's plenty of things we can do.
And let's get into that. What can we do in order to, you know, do our part as far as mental health issues are concerned? Because I think that we have, you know, our perception of mental health is that people are crazy or, you know, non-approachable. But there are different phases to you know, mental health issues. Everybody's not off the edge or, you know, and then we want to be able to recognize the signs. So what do you think we can do, Dee?
That's a great you segued it beautifully. Okay. First of all, not everybody who has mental health problems are crazy, are schizophrenic, are ready to kill somebody, or ready to do damage to other people. So first and foremost, if we know somebody who's struggling mentally, we should try to direct them to the appropriate program, to suggest it, not carry them into a place, but talk about open arms, talk about Catholic charities, talk about the number of programs that they could get involved with to get help. These same programs, whether it's the Capuchins at their food kitchen, the Detroit Rescue Mission, Open Arms, the Ascension folks, and so forth. They have programs to help people with mental health, but they need us to volunteer to help them. The program without people doesn't work. So we need to get involved with all of that. I'll tell you a very interesting situation that I was talking to somebody out in Arizona. And we were talking about the fact that on every street corner, it seems these days, there are people who are standing there at the light trying to get money from you. And some of them are homeless, and some of them are probably in need of some mental health treatment and so forth. And one of the things that they do in Arizona, which I thought was beautiful, instead of just giving somebody $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever the situation, how about having in your car an address to the Detroit Rescue Mission or the Capuchin Soup Kitchen or other programs that they can go to for not only food and shelter, but also mental health, because many of these places also provide professionals to help them. So there's a number of ways we can get involved to help. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every second. But as you say, Dee, we got to get involved somehow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we have to speak up. A lot of times we look at it and we just keep walking. If you don't one day we have to stop and do something about it.
We do. We
As
do,
you
Dee.
said,
We
there
do.
are programs available, but a lot of times people don't know themselves about the programs. A lot of times we find out a lot later. I think we have to do something about that too, making sure the resources are available on multiple platforms, multiple magazines, newspapers. I think we got to do more sharing, right?
Dee, Lisa, I think that's great. And I also think that this is a good month for people to pick up a phone and call a organization. Let's take Open Arms, for example, because I'm very familiar with that. Lisa, we use them for our family support programs as well.
Yeah.
To pick up a phone and ask them what their programs are. Ask them what they're doing. Ask them how you can get involved. And you're right, if we don't know, and many of us don't know because it's uncomfortable, this whole thing about mental health and criminal justice and so forth, many people have no exposure to it whatsoever. So educate yourself. That's part of what this month is all about, promoting education with all of this. So I think your point's well taken.
Yes. Okay. Great. I want to ask you, now you said that the crime was down, and it did seem like it, but what's your take on this weekend? It was pretty rough. I mean, all I saw on social media was how many people passed away, senseless violence. There was a lot of it on this weekend. Do you think the weather plays a huge role in it?
Lisa, a good point, and you're right. This weekend really set us back a little bit, I think, in terms of the fact that we weren't listening to crime every single day in the news. I don't think it's the weather. I'll tell you what I think. I think we need to teach people more about conflict resolution. We are in a real struggle with people trying to resolve issues and conflicts without pulling out a knife or a gun or something else because you don't agree with me and I don't agree with you. And sadly, I think we're overshadowed by the political climate right now that we see people fighting all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn on the news. I was watching the news before I came on your show. People fighting, Democrats, Republicans, blaming each other. There is no conflict resolution. There's no getting together. And I think, and all of these things that we saw over the weekend were conflicts. And somebody decides, well, I'll resolve this conflict. I'll just shoot you. Yeah. So I don't think it's the weather. I don't think it's lack of policing. I don't think it's anything other than we need to continue. And I know that Chief Beddison and his entire crew down at the Detroit Police Department are talking about conflict resolution. And there's some other organizations that are trying to do that. I know that Mary Sheffield's talking about conflict resolution in this new program she started. We need a lot more of it, and it's not going to happen overnight.
You're absolutely right.
That is so true. Conflict resolution is a skill, and a lot of people lack that skill set. They don't know how. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's that they lack the ability to find out, and some people just don't have an interest in finding out,
No, you're right. You are right, Dave. They don't. And it is a skill. It's a skill that has to be learned, and we need so much more of it. We should be teaching our young people how to deal with conflict resolution in our schools. I don't think we do, but I think we should be. I think everybody needs to just sit back, take a breath, and say, what are we doing with all this conflict? There is conflict. There's more conflict today than ever. There's financial conflict. There's economic issues that are complex and complicated. The political climate. You got situations today talking about conflict. People can't even talk politics in their own home because it ends up as an argument and a fight. We're not doing very well with conflict resolution at any level, from what I could see.
Absolutely right. You are right about that. And how are the children going to learn it if we don't know it?
That's right. They're going to
So,
follow our lead, Lisa. That's
yes.
exactly what's going to happen.
But what
Yeah,
I do see more mentors now. I believe a lot of these groups are getting together. I see them in the schools, which is all great, but it still starts at home. So that's the only thing that kind of keeps me slightly worried, right? Because it starts at home. When they go to school, that's a third party teaching them, but the first party is the parents.
Well, again, you are right. And one of the interesting thing is when you are in school and you have somebody talking about conflict resolution, whatever, you have your peers making jokes and it's a big joke and blah, blah, blah. Some people don't find it the least bit interesting, so they're criticizing it. You have a lot of different people in the audience pressuring you as to should I listen, shouldn't I listen? When you're home listening to your mother and your father talking about this, nobody's interrupting you. Nobody's taking your attention away from what they're talking about. So you're right, Elisa and Dee. It's got to start at the home. The home is where it's at, and then you go from there. We should be carrying that out from the home, not learning it in school and bringing it back in. That's the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. I do. I agree 100%. We also need to bring back family time because our kids can't learn if we're all sitting around just on our phones and, our electronic devices doing whatever it is that, we are doing at that particular time. How do you suggest that we come together and, what type of different functions do you believe that we can do in the community that can bridge the gap between the parents, the children, just getting that community support to bring back the villages. Lisa and I talked about that before. What can we do to bring back the villages? But in this situation, how can we advocate for togetherness in the community? What do we do? We've had the block parties, what are some other alternative methods that we can do?
Well, I think we can start, Dee, by using our churches again, which used to be a great way to bring families together. Bringing your family to church, getting involved with, if you're going to volunteer as a group. If you're going to go to Forgotten Harvest as a mother or father, bring your children, make them understand what it is you're doing. Make time, even in the home, make time where there's no screen time, when there's no phone time, even if it's for an hour. We all grew up, and I'm a lot older than you guys, but when I grew up, you sat at the table with your whole family. Nobody was on the phone. Your father didn't let you answer the phone on the wall when it rang. That was time to spend as a family. And we do need to, and it doesn't have to be difficult. Just get the family together, put the screens aside, put the phones aside, talk about whatever, and do things as a family. Go to the movies as a family, do things as a family, and then come together in a larger organization by some social organization, be it the Knights of Columbus, be it the Block Club, be it the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, something where you get together as a group with a common objective and get your whole family involved. We can do it. I think it's starting in a lot of things. I'm somewhat optimistic about all that. People seem to be coming back together with some of that, but we still have a lot more to do for sure.
Yes, I agree, but I think that one or two incidents sometime ruin it. We've had those block parties where people have gotten shot. And I think what's missing from that is that we allow the younger people to kind of control it. We allow the drinking, you know, it was structure when the residents of the communities were available. It was more
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. We're out of control with this. How much do we have the young people controlling things? And quite frankly, it would be my thought that we need to recognize that when we have, and these block parties are wonderful things, people get together and have fun. To me, it's nothing more than eats, beats, and eats, and so forth. It's nothing but a big block party. They're all big block parties.
Yes.
But I think we have to come to grips with when these things occur and when there are some people that are out of line trying to ruin it for other people, that the criminal justice system come down heavy on these people. And I mean heavy. I mean, if you're going to do that, then you need some jail time. You need some time to just get some downtime, if you will. Okay. And downtime, I mean, spend some time down with the new jail in Wayne County, spend some time in Oakland County Jail, the Washtenaw County Jail, wherever you need to spend it, to recognize that what you're doing is not acceptable to the society at large.
Right. Absolutely. Do they still have those programs, Dan, where like scared straight programs for the youth that are, adjudicated youth that are acting out? Do they have those?
Dee, I don't know if they do or not. I really don't get involved with any of that. I don't know. It's such a great question that I'll be able to ask Sheriff Washington. I'm going to be talking to him not too distant future. I'll find out. I hope they do. I think it's a good program. I'll tell you another thing that people are doing. They're bringing some of these men and women who have been incarcerated, who have been through the criminal justice system, and they're bringing them into the schools to say, look, don't do what I do. Let me explain what we got. And unfortunately, some of our youth throughout the state of Michigan, this is not directed at any city or town. This is all over the state of Michigan. Some of our youth really think that that's a badge of courage to have been in trouble or have been in the criminal justice system or have been in prison. It's not a badge. It's a failure. It has nothing to do with it being a badge of courage. You failed so far. So, and I think these adults who come into the schools and tell our young people that, hopefully it resonates with them that, you know what, this is not a badge of courage. This is a failure on your part to recognize what you're supposed to be doing as an individual, not only for yourself, but for your family and so forth, the neighborhood and society as a whole. So I don't know if they have it. I hope they do. I'm going to find out for you and I'll let you know.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're absolutely welcome.
Yes. Now, I know that we have a call to action for the communities, right? And I know Crime Stoppers, you guys are heavily involved. Do you encourage, is there something in place to encourage? We encourage and we promote to speak up and the different ways and what happens when you're anonymous. But at what age do we start talking to the children about speaking up? Because they see things as well. And we kind of got to get them involved when it comes to, but we don't want them to be hurt. So where does that set with you?
Well, I'll tell you, the Crime Stopper program, which is a program that says if you choose not to talk, now I'm going to talk about youth for a minute. The Crime Stopper program says, okay, if you're a youngster, meaning middle school and up, okay? Middle school and up, if you see something that you know is wrong, and that's why we do middle school, because we want to make sure that the kids understand what's right and what's wrong and so forth, and clearly have a clear understanding of that. Then if you choose not to tell your parents, which is what we promote you do as a youngster, we want our kids to do, who your parents could therefore contact the police if necessary, then you're certainly welcome to pick up the phone and call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. So we have this program that we're trying to get back, for example, into the Detroit Public Schools, which is a gigantic school system. And we're trying to put this in other places as we go forward in 2026, called Project Safe Campus. And it's not, we don't call it Crime Stoppers because that's kind of an ugly word for kids. And we don't really like it to sound like that. It's scary. So Project Safe Campus, where if you see things that shouldn't be, and you know that, you can speak up. Now, there is in our schools throughout the state of Michigan, the Michigan State Police has a program called OK to Say. And that program is in every public school in the state of Michigan. And it's monitored and designed and monitored by the Michigan State Police. They do a great job with that. And they are getting a lot of calls from our kids all over the state of Michigan. I'm talking about thousands. A lot of them dealing with mental health conflicts, issues, more than threats or whatever. But regardless of what it is, the kids recognize something's not right, and they do something about it by getting involved with this program, OK to Say It. It's a great program. As a matter of fact, Lisa and Dee, maybe we can get somebody down the road to talk about it on your show one of these days.
Oh, we love
So
that.
what's the plan?
Yeah, we'll get somebody for you.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Can I
Yes.
do one thing before I leave you?
Yes.
I'm going to ask your listeners, and you have a lot of them, to, if they forget whether they need to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Now, I want to talk real quick about 1-800-SPEAK-UP. When you hear it on TV, when you see it in the newspaper, when you hear it on WWJ or WJR or whatever, I just want all your listeners to know one thing. It sounds rote. Call 1-800-SPEAK-UP if you know something. But I think people need to recognize there are families behind that process. There are families that have been affected, not just homicides, people being shot at. This week, I think 2 or 3 times we had calls out because hit and runs, for example. It doesn't all have to be about people killing each other. But if you see something that you know is going to negatively affect a neighbor, a friend, or just a citizen in our state, either pick up the phone and call the police, or pick up the phone and call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Calls answered in Dallas, Texas. Nobody's going to know who you are. We don't care who you are. Matter of fact, if you tell us who you are, we won't take your call. But get involved. But the other side of that, particularly with this program we have that we're talking about, this National Criminal Justice Month, please go to our website, which is 1-800-SPEAKUP.org, and go to our Center for Crime Prevention. There are programs there for young people, for old people, and older people, and so forth, adults, to tell you and help you live a safer life, both in your home and in your community. I really would encourage people to do that. There's things about bullying. As I said, there's things about gun safety. There's things about our family support programs. I really would encourage your folks to get involved. And I'm happy to say that we have about 2,000 people a week, that visit that center now. And I would encourage your listeners to please do the same.
For those who are not aware of the process when they do speak up, can you kind of briefly talk about, well, not briefly because we have time, but can you kind of talk about the anonymous call and how it works and how the rewards work?
Sure. I can tell you this. First of all, we've been involved for 31 years. We've taken in over 125,000 tips. Not one of those tipsters has ever been identified. How that works is very simple. When you pick up a phone and you call 1-800-SPEAK-UP, the call's answered in Dallas, Texas. The operators are trained to ask you a series of questions because they're only going to talk to you one time. There's no caller ID. There's no cops. Nobody's taping the conversation. So you give them the information based on what it is you know or what it is you think you know. If you provide any information about who you are, they will refuse to take your call. And unfortunately, we have people upset because we won't take their calls, but we have a commitment to keeping our tipsters anonymous, and we will do so at every turn. That information is sent up to us, and we provide it to the appropriate law enforcement agency, federal, state, county, local, whoever it happens to be. Michigan State Police, the Sheriff's Department in Washtenaw County, the Detroit Police Department, you name it, we give it to them. If people choose to go to our website, they can also provide information through an email. Your IP address is blocked out. We don't know who you are with that. We don't trace you down. We have no way of tracing you down. And many people do that, email it in. They find it easier, and they can do that as well. Once that information is provided to the appropriate law enforcement agency, they let us know whether the tip was redundant, whether the tip was useless, or whether the tip was helpful. If it was helpful, it means it caused an arrest to happen. The tipster, by the way, whether they're emailing or whether they're calling, they receive a 5-digit number, and that's how they're identified in our system. So it's not Dan DiBardino, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, tipster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're told that if your tip causes an arrest to be made, not a conviction, many of the programs involve convictions. We are about arrests being made.
Mm-hmm.
You might be eligible for a reward. And if you want to follow your tip, you're welcome to call our Southfield number. We give you the number of our Southfield number, which is 248-922-5000. And you can say, this is tipster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's my tip coming along? And if your tip caused an arrest, after it's reviewed by an independent group called our reward court, and you're entitled to a reward, we give you a list of 3 local banks that you can go to the following week between Monday at 9 o'clock and Saturday at 12 noon when they close. You walk into the bank, you tell them your tipster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will hand you an envelope and you walk out the door, and the envelope is in cash. And nobody knows who you are, where you came from. And all of your listeners need to know that you have my word, that under no circumstances has a tipster ever been identified, nor is a tipster going to be identified. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you really quickly, if you were to call that 1-800 number right now that's on the screen, and you say, my neighbor, there's something wrong with my neighbor. He has a lot of people come into his house, but none of them leave. And his name is Dahmers. I think his first name is Jeffrey. We won't take your call. And we won't take your call because you said my neighbor, which means we will now know who you are. Where you live. And we will politely tell you, I'm very sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry, sir. You're going to have to call the police. We cannot take your call. And people really get angry. People get angry every day. But there's nothing we can do about that. And we've had police departments call, hey, can't you make an exception? We will make no exception. We haven't made an exception. This program is in 22 countries, and it only survives because of anonymity. And nobody's going to jeopardize that. And we have a responsibility to the people that do pick up a phone or do use a keyboard to make sure that we honor them in terms of them being anonymous. And we do so every day.
I love it. I think it's needed. Definitely think people need to know that, because a lot of people don't say anything because they fear their own safety.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's people they know.
Yes. Absolutely. But this is one way of doing it. And if I have one more minute, Lisa and Dee, I'd
Yes,
like to say one more thing.
you do.
We are helping the Detroit. Detroit's the largest entity we have, right, in terms of a city. We work a lot with them. We are independent. We're not owned and operated by any police agency at all. We are an independent 501c3 nonprofit. However, we do support the work of all the local and state and federal law enforcement agencies throughout the state of Michigan who are working on our behalf to keep us safe. The mayor, actually Mayor Duggan and Chief White and now Chief Bettison, have a program that's called Detroit Rewards TV. And that program is a little different than ours. We help them with it because they use our 1-800-SPEAK-UP number. But the city of Detroit, in order to continue to decrease crime, has a program that says we have certain things we're looking for as we investigate crimes. And if you can help us identify these things and move the case forward, we will provide you with a little bit of a reward. For example, if there's a shooting, I'm going to go to the worst case scenario. If there's a shooting in a neighborhood and the police department is trying to identify the owner of a car or where this car might have been seen last, and you can help them with that, you're still going to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. That's the program they use. So we still have anonymity to the program. But once you do that, and we get that information down to the investigator in charge of the case, and you decide to follow up your tip, you're given a number just like normal, then you get a little bit of reward, and you get the reward the same way you would if you were to call Crime Stoppers, same way through the bank, just as I explained it. The city has a great program. It works really well. And it's another reason why the Detroit Police Department and its citizens are continuing to reduce crime in the city, because everybody's now on the same platform. Everybody now is on the same song, and we're moving it all together. And that's what we need. The police departments can't do it by themselves. We need to get involved. If we want to be safe, we can't sit on the sidelines. We got to do something about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
There's an old expression that bad things happen when good people decide to do nothing. And boy, it is absolutely true.
It is.
One of the things that people know, that if they're not going to be tolerated, if crime isn't going to be tolerated, then they're going to think twice about doing it. And one of the things we do when we don't speak up, either directly to the police departments or through Crime Stoppers or whatever, we create opportunities because people say, well, nobody's going to turn me in. So it's a great opportunity. Once you reduce the opportunity for crime to occur, it doesn't occur. And that's what this whole program is all about. That's the premise we use all the time. If you want to reduce crime, you reduce the opportunity. It's very simple.
Yes. Does that appear to be your biggest obstacle for Crime Stoppers? People not saying anything.
I think yes. I think people are afraid still. I think the obstacle, Lisa, is that people still don't necessarily believe in many cases that they're going to remain anonymous, particularly because they say, well, wait a minute, you're giving out reward money. How can you possibly give out reward money and you want us to remain anonymous? But it works. It works. And the thing I got to tell you that's even greater than all of that is with all the reward money that we give out, thanks to our sponsors and donors who provide those funds, we get no funds from the state of Michigan. We get no funds from any government entity. This money all comes from the wonderful support we get from the corporations throughout Michigan and private people throughout Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Only about 30% of the people who are eligible to get a reward actually take it. So wow. 70% of our people who are eligible for rewards, in some cases $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, choose not to do it. Now, I'd like to tell you that they're all decided, I just want to do the right thing. And I hope that's the case. But I also think some of it is they're afraid to get it because that's
Yeah.
how they're going to find out who I am once I take the reward. So either way, it's working. Last year, we took in almost 5,300 anonymous tips.
Mm.
And many of these crimes that you see that are solved, that I can't go into all kinds of details, but I can tell you many of these crimes that you see that have been solved by local and state police departments, federal police departments, as recently as last week, or as a direct result of people picking up a phone and calling 1-800-SPEAK UP or calling the tip lines of the police departments that are involved.
That is excellent. I'm going to give some applause for that. Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you to all of the people in the communities that did, take the opportunity to reach out and help somebody in the community, because we never know who we're helping. It's not just ourselves that we report things for. We report it for the safety of, the entire community in which we live. So I do want to thank those people for that. And I want to thank the Detroit Police Department and state police, every uniform officer. Thank you so much for the job that you do. You put yourselves on the line every day. People see police and we don't think about that. Every day that these people are, servicing the community and trying to prevent crime and just patrolling every day, their lives are in danger.
That's right.
So,
and you know what, Dee? They're not doing it for the money. That's for damn sure.
Oh no.
They're doing it. And Dee, you mentioned, I think it's important to talk about what you say about people picking up a phone and so forth. There are people, parents and grandparents and children that are deeply affected by these crimes. I don't care what kind of crime it is: assault with intent to kill, sexual assault, kidnapping. We got missing kids. We have over 2,500 cases at Crime Stoppers right now that we're trying to get answers to. 2,500 throughout the state of Michigan. And everything from illegal dumping, as crazy as that sounds, all the way to homicides. And in every single one, some family is affected. And I wish, and I know Lisa has done a great job, and DU as well, bringing some of the families in to talk about some of the turmoil and some of the trepidation and some of the great difficulties that they have trying to figure out who did what to them and why. And I know in some cases, people say, well, these people, let's take the case of homicide because it does occur. Well, that person was at the wrong place at the wrong time, or that person was bad anyway. That doesn't mean that anybody should be killed.
That's right.
Okay? That's not for us to decide. But go beyond that. Go beyond, what does that have to do with a young man or a young girl's grandparents or mother or father or sibling? I mean, you got to look at these things beyond just the act, beyond just the victim, and say there are families every time we put this information out. Families affected. There's families, a mother who has her 9-year-old daughter kidnapped and buried in a rural ditch that we talked to. That's the mother's got to live with that. I mean, there's so many different things. I wish, and it'll never happen, but I wish I could bring everybody into our office for one day and just listen to the heart-wrenching thing that people come in to tell us about something that's affected their family. It's terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. So these kind of programs help, and I applaud you, Lisa and Dee, for being out there, and I applaud you for having us. get involved. This is something that we can all get involved with, and we should all get involved with for the safety of ourselves, our children, our grandparents, and so forth. All of us win when we have a safe community.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. We do need to always be cognizant of our elderly because sometimes they get lost in the sauce with family, with community, sometimes we forget, and we need to do more than just welfare checks on them. We need to make sure that, you know, that they, have the services that they need, sweep off a porch, help them bring in a bag of groceries, do something, you
Yep.
know. So I definitely understand. And I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for Crime Stoppers. I was going to ask you what the mission, vision, and principles were for Crime Stoppers, but you have covered all of that. I was just listening to everything that you had to offer, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay. He nailed it.
Well, I
Okay.
got to tell you, I got to give, we're going to have you do one more applause because really, most of the work that's done by Crime Stoppers is done through this great staff that I have, and there's only 5 of us. We have a lot of
Okay.
work to do. Yeah, there is. We used to be 9, but because of financial situation, we've had to cut back terribly. But these folks do a great job, and they, more than anybody, including me, meet with all these families, meet with all these victims, meet with all these police departments to try to get things done. So they do a great job.
Well, let's give it up for Crime
Let's
Stoppers
do
and
that.
all of the staff. Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Now,
Absolutely.
I definitely want the viewers to know again, you already touched on it, but so many people, when they hear Crime Stoppers, they think, I'm only going to call, we're only going to report shooting. But it is carjacking, it is sexual violence, it is fraud,
Drugs.
domestic violence, drugs, it's crime. Remember that. I just need people to make sure they
That's right,
remember.
Lisa. And you know what, Lisa? You raise a great point. Even if you're not sure,
If
for
it don't look
example,
right.
we've had parents call. I think they're parents. I can only guess they're parents because they're looking at social media of their children and they're calling us saying, I read something on the social media that I think is a concern, should be a concern to the local school. Maybe you better let them know. So some people have called us not even a crime committed yet, just something's not right. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at some of these cases that have been solved. I mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer's case earlier. I'm a son of Sam. There's a number of big cases that have been involved because one person just saw something very small. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys remember the Son of Sam case in New York City.
I
He
do.
got, you do remember it?
Yes.
He killed a whole bunch of people, but he was caught because of a parking ticket. So you never know what you don't know. If you think you see something, nobody's going to rush in and do anything crazy. We're going to pass that on to the police department, and they're very professional. They'll do what they need to do, and if they don't think it's relevant, they won't bother. They don't need more cases,
Yeah.
but they
It's
do
just
need information.
it's definitely some of the smallest details that solve the biggest cases.
Exactly right.
I'm all, oh my gosh, all I watch is crime. I'm into social work. And so for some reason I'm just like I'm addicted to crime stories.
Yeah, a lot of people are. My
But
daughter
I
loves
watch
them.
Hard
Yeah,
work.
That's
yeah,
right, because they say that, if you ever want to solve a crime, you have to think like a criminal.
that's
So,
exactly right.
so I watch those shows because I'm basically educating myself on the different things and the different signs that we need to know
That's
in
exactly
certain
right.
situations. You
Yeah.
never know when you're going to be thrust into any type of situation.
No,
So,
you don't. You
yeah.
You
don't.
gotta think
Uh,
fast.
you know,
You gotta think
Absolutely. It's
fast. Yeah.
better to be prepared. I tell my kids all the time, my daughters are um 36 and 32.
Come on,
And
D, you can't have kids that age already.
I do, dude. Oh my God. Yes. And they tell me all the time, they're like, Mom, you remember when you used to tell us every day before they went to school? I would always ask them, what's the strongest part of your body? And they would tell me, my elbow. And I would be like, what do you do if you're in a person's trunk? You kick out the light and you stick your hand through. And they knew these
That's
things.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah.
I
You got to teach
definitely,
them.
yes, you have
Yeah.
to teach them
Yeah,
because
you
you
do.
never know.
You really do. You know, the days of I remember, and I'm quite older than both of you, and I remember when we
Oh,
used to.
you got to
I
be
lived
kidding.
in.
I know, I
I,
know. Listen
I,
to him.
I remember living in Philadelphia, thumbing rides back and forth to school, and thinking nothing of it. I mean, you can't do any of those kind of things today. You got to think smart and think safety and take care of yourself. And
Absolutely.
that's like you say, you teaching your daughters how to do that. What would you do if you were caught in a situation? What would you do as a young little girl walking down the street and some guy pulls up and says, "Let me give you, your parents told me come, I'm going to take you home." If our kids aren't learning that, how are they supposed to protect themselves? So there's a lot to this business of safety.
Yes, so many children are missing, and it's so sad when I see it. You know,
It's terrible. It's
it
terrible.
does something to me.
Well, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, I know I met with a mother some time ago who thought her 18-year-old son just got a wild hair and ran away, and she found out a month later that they found her son cut up and buried in 4 graves
Mm,
in the suburbs. Yeah. So I mean, you just it's heartbreaking, and this is what we're trying to avoid. And the only way we can avoid it is don't let the bad people get ahead of us. So we got to be thinking like they're thinking all the time.
all the
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
And Dan, how can people support your organization? I know I always say it, but you're the president. You go right
Well, I
ahead.
appreciate that. And if they go to our website again, which you put up there, 1-800-SpeakUp.org, there's a how can you get involved? And there's a donation section. We have a $5 a month club, which is nothing. You can't even go to McDonald's for $5 a month. But we have a $5 a month club that we would ask people to get involved with if they can have their social club get involved, maybe take us on as a cause and everybody gives $5 a month or whatever the case happens to be. There's other donations you can do. If you go to Kroger's, if you use your Kroger card, Kroger's gives us a little bit of their profit
Okay.
every quarter, so we could do that as well. We welcome any of those kinds of things would be outstanding.
And what about the volunteering? You
We're
have
always
anything
looking for
coming up?
volunteers, Lisa and Dee. Because of the financial situation since COVID, where we've had to cut back our staff, we have to rely more on volunteers than ever. And if people want to volunteer, we're looking for people who can type, for people that can get on the phone that aren't afraid to ask for donations. We need people to volunteer for events. We got our next event coming up as a golf outing, for example. And we have as you know, Lisa, we have a children's Christmas party every year. Children who have been affected by crime, we actually have a Christmas party for them at the Parade Company in December. There's plenty of things to do. If anybody wants to volunteer, I would welcome them to call me at 313-922-5000. Ask for me, and we'll put you to work. Whether you can give us an hour, a day, a week, a month, we can use your help.
I am sharing it now. They can also sign up through the website as well
Yes, they can.
at
Yes,
1
they can.
800 speakup.org.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, any closing words that you would like to share with the viewers? I so appreciate you. I'm sure Dee does too. I got to bring her
Absolutely.
down there to meet you in person.
Well,
Yes, I
please
would
do.
love that.
Yeah, Dee, please. I appreciate that. my closing comments would be two things. For all of those people that are already involved with activities that result in the safety of our communities, whether you're at Sault Ste. Marie or whether you're in Monroe, wherever you might be in the great state of Michigan, I applaud you and suggest and encourage you to get other people involved. For those of you that are still on the sidelines, if you want to be safe for your family, for your friends, for your neighbors, you got to get off the bench and get in the game. And part of this program that we're doing tonight, Detroit Press Play, is in the game. Let's get involved.
We in the game. You ready?
That's
you ready, P?
That's it.
I just put her in the game. I just put her all in the game.
Right? I like it. I like
I'm
it.
ready.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
we
Lisa,
love
thank
the
you.
book.
And Dee, thank you so very much. I really appreciate being part of your program. We were involved with it at its inception. It's growing by leaps and bounds. And I wish you continued success. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to reach out to your listening-ship. I appreciate it.
You as
We
well, Dan.
appreciate
It's been an
you.
absolute pleasure having you.
Same
Before
here.
you
You
go,
take
can
care.
you shout out Detroit Press Play? Go ahead 3 times for us.
Detroit Press Play, Detroit Press Play, and Detroit Press Pay.
Hey, yes.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you,
We
Dee.
appreciate
All right,
you
guys. Good night. God
joining.
bless you. Take care.
All right,
Yes,
you as
you too.
well. Have a
All
good
right, take
one.
care. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye
Well,
bye.
DIVA, we're gonna take our little moment. I do have to shout out a few people. I'm rocking my Shine Christians.
I
For those who
see. I didn't put mine on because I can't see.
I can't see either. I ain't seen nothing. So if I would have had to read, I would have been in trouble.
Okay.
I would have been in
I know.
trouble tonight reading.
I know.
I had to read in Braille.
Listen, Dan was a hoot. I like him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Cool
I
guy.
love
Cool
what
guy.
I love what they're doing with Crime Stoppers of Michigan. I love what they're doing. I love the fact that, he went over the information about, listen, I don't know where that no snitch rule came from. Who came up with that? Who we trying to protect? Who are we trying to protect here? I think we're doing too much protecting in our communities. And I think now is the time to get back to it like it was back in the day when we had nice grass. Okay.
Right. The days of nice grass is gone.
The days of nice grass. Okay. I think that we
Listen.
should get back into that. And he made it really easy for people to be able to share a detail or a tip and be able to get money for it. You're completely anonymous.
And the calls are not even taken here.
It's not even taken. If you even mention a name, okay,
or a street, or
anything that is identifiable, you cannot.
They hang it right up on you.
They hang it up on you. Okay. So yeah, I think that was great information for him to share, and I'm looking forward to going out in the community. I can't wait. I'm a community person. Hey, I love feeding people. I love community cleanup. I love marches. Listen. I am for the community.
Martin Luther King would have loved you, huh? Martin Luther King.
Yes, Mr. Martin Luther King would have loved. Girl, I would have been walking with my sign. Okay.
Yes,
freedom ring, baby. Okay.
Well, we need more of it. Like you said, that no snitch thing.
Yeah.
Come on, too many people dying. When it come to death, this ain't no somebody stole a cookie.
Okay.
This is death we're talking about.
This is death. This is my loved one is out here hurting, and I can't find out who did this to my loved one.
Because you're silent.
Okay. Come on now. I have a few friends that are actually going through that. One in particular, she is Justice for Tyler. I just want to say Justice for Tyler. Tyler was a young man that lost his life in the hotel in Southfield. I can't remember what the name of the hotel was. Yeah, she was one of my coworkers. I consider her a friend because she was a really nice person. I remember her son had given my son, he was older than my son, but he had given him some toys, and this was her only child, and he was shot in Southfield in a room with a bunch of young men, and they never found out who did it. So
And
yeah,
that's
we
just
need,
strange.
yeah.
Nobody saw nothing. Nobody. Come on
Well,
now.
of course they're scared. They don't want it because of the no
Yeah.
snitch rule. You know what I'm saying? And probably thinking that, hey, if I say something, this is going to happen to me because,
They gonna know it's me. They gonna know it's
okay,
me. But
yeah, yeah. So, but it's
I
a
was
lot.
just.
I'm
I'm
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was looking at the. I'm sorry because you were still talking too. Looking at the death over the weekend. Like I don't know. It
Oh,
just it set me back 10 years. Like oh my god. That's all
and
you
how
see.
you going outside like this?
Yeah.
You know, it's just too much. Like, when do we say, okay, let's take a day and we're not gonna kill nobody? Let's take a day and we're not gonna rob nobody. Let's take a day. Let's just take a day to act like civilized human beings.
No.
Let's do that.
Nobody
Can we do
forgives
that?
anybody. Nobody forgives
Okay.
anybody anymore. Nobody
Oh
walks
my
away and brush it off.
goodness.
Everybody got to stand up for themselves. Nobody can't
It's
be no punk. That's
it's so
that's what it's all about.
terrible. You gotta go out of here. You gotta have mace, you gotta have a taser, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And
And
not
they
to
got so
mention,
many drugs. Some of
oh,
these people got so many drugs in them. Taser won't work.
true, true, yeah.
But
I,
it's
I
just
just have to
sad.
take my chances because it's getting crazy out here. We need to go around some of these communities where we know that there are high crime rates, and we need to do a prayer chain around those
So
areas. Joy Road, Schoolcraft, Trumbull, uh, Buchanan, the streets in Southwest. We need all of
numbers.
those streets that we know or those areas that we know are troublesome areas. We need to go and do a prayer chain. People in the community need to go. I believe prayer works. I believe prayer works. And I think that we need to go around and do a prayer chain and pray for those communities so that we can start bringing God back in and start uniting. That's a way for us to unite in prayer, you
Yes,
know,
it is.
and come up with some type of ideas.
So my pastor has Code 22, where
Okay.
she brings people out in the community. A lot of she supports those that are impacted by violence or something that's happened to their loved one. Tries to bring so the 22nd of every month, she calls out for everybody to wear white, because that's the color for peace and healing. Bringing them
Mhm.
together. They used to care. They used to go out to certain areas, like you said, and do the prayer in the streets. But now she brings them to different events, um, and people are getting on board, but just not fast enough, right? So now there's going to be some changes because I think she's got some more people behind her now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I'm all for prayer chains outside in the community because we can do it on the inside. That's a great thing, but we need to go and focus that energy because God says where two or three, two or more are gathered, I am in the midst. So that's what we need to do. We need to gather so we can know He's in the midst in these different areas, different areas where children are being trafficked, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And we need to, go to areas where we know that there are high crime rates, theft,
and
just
put your eyes on these people that you
yes.
see them circling around your kids or circling around even yourself. What
And
about that grocery store?
protect the
Yeah,
elderly. It's a lot of elderly people that are out here and their families do not
support
visit
them.
them at all. I mean, um we need to look out for the senior citizens of our communities. How can you grow up in an area? It doesn't matter whether you grew up in that area or not. How can you see A senior citizen know that they live there and not ask, hey, when I go shovel my snow, I'm just going to automatically do their snow. When I go out and, cut my grass, I'm just going to automatically cut their grass, because everything is not about $1.
Right.
Blessings are more than money. Okay. I mean, you got to get your blessings how you can. You got to eat how you can, but come on now. One person in the community, you looking out for the elderly. You can look out for all of the elderly on your block. Something good is going to come to you for that. It's not just monetary, So
children and babies, the babies,
yes,
children,
yes,
seniors. We gotta get back to protecting them. That's just
we
all,
do. We do.
And we
We
got to get
do.
our nosy seniors back. You remember back in the day when nothing happened on your block
Okay,
because
nothing,
seniors
because you knew
they
Miss
was in them
Johnson was gonna
curtains.
tell it.
They wasn't in the blinds. They
Oh,
was in the curtains. Okay.
okay. They was
Full
in
fact.
them curtains, girl. In them curtains.
I am her.
Okay.
I am her.
I ain't never been her. I'm sorry.
Girl,
Y'all
I
gonna
be
be
looking.
mad at me. Y'all gonna see the curtains, but I ain't in them. I'm somewhere.
I'm in them. I'm in them. I'm in them. I'm in the curtains.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm in the blinds, but they blinds now.
I ain't nosy enough. I'm sorry, y'all.
Let me hear something, but I don't never hear anything. So thank God. So
I
I
mean,
don't have to.
if my girl bark or we got dogs around us. If they bark, I'll go check out. But I ain't just sitting somewhere paying
Oh no, I don't
attention
just
to
sit.
y'all.
As soon as I hear something, I'm looking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I ain't
I
mad
ain't
at
got
her.
time to just sit.
It
You
ain't
say I
me,
ain't just
y'all.
sitting
I ain't nowhere near the curtain. I'm somewhere.
there. But do you remember though, back in the day, the
Yeah.
seniors, they would tell your mother. My grandmother couldn't step on the porch without somebody telling on me. I was
Girl,
like,
your granddaughter was
she was outside. I know you. I knew something
okay.
had to be.
Oh, they would check. Do your mama know you outside? Like,
I was like, yeah,
dang, let me
lie.
go. Let me go in for Miss Daisy go and tell. You know,
Yes, watching me from her side window. Go
okay, you
somewhere.
knew that one neighbor was gonna tell everything. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
can't stand Miss
gotta
Daisy.
bring
They
that stuff
all
back.
up.
We
I
do.
know.
We do.
I know. I miss those days. I miss the relay races in the street before the street lights came on. The
Man.
summers were hotter. Do you remember that summer was hot than a mug back then?
And you
And
drunk
it
out the
was
nasty
longer.
little water hose.
Okay. Yes. Oh my God. That was the day.
Listen, we need them days back, boy.
We
Now all I see
do.
is bills.
We do. Oh, girl, please listen. I'm just saying. I don't feel like I'm getting a bill every 30 days. I'm at every
I think mine
27.
every 10.
I'm
Every 10.
okay. I'm like,
I must be on the net
it's every
10.
27 days. How are you billing me? What happened to the other 3 I was supposed to get?
Y'all got
Yeah.
and now listen, DT make you pay. You gotta pay to use your card. Well, you done closed down everywhere, so why
Okay.
I
How
can't just
you
walk.
gonna tell me what time I can wash DTE?
Girl, they got me on lock. They got me in a chokehold. I don't even watch.
Telling me when I can use my lights. What's the best time? I'm
I'm
paying
walking.
this.
I'm walking in this stuff trying to keep the lights off. I'm like,
Like what?
I
I'm
can't
walking
do
around here, boy. Unplug that. Don't plug the microwave until it's time to use.
it. You should have ate what I ate. Listen. Oh my God, boy, I can go on and on about that. But
Boy, if
listen,
you don't unplug that,
I said, don't cut the button off. Unplug it.
okay, okay. Do not plug your phone. Do not get plugged unless it's under 25%.
You don't need to dry your clothes. You weren't wearing that tomorrow.
No,
No
you
way.
wasn't wearing that tomorrow.
Hang it up.
Mm-mm.
Listen, I'm
No.
telling you, my whole life different with these bills.
Okay,
Go to the
remember,
grocery store, putting stuff back.
girl.
I ain't
Remember,
never
our
did
mothers used to make us iron up all our clothes.
that for the week. Wait a minute. My grandmother had me thinking that every time you cut the light on and off, it was 10 cents. So I still believe that. I believe it's like a quarter or something.
Girl, you at 30 cents. You at 35 cents, right? Nowadays, shoot, one flick, you $5 in. Shoot, putting on the light more than a hot and ready now. Okay, please. You want to
Man,
eat? Look, you want to eat or you want to read?
you make a choice. Make a choice and stick to it. Man, okay. Okay, we digress. Whew. This was, as
Okay.
always, wonderful
Shout out to
show.
Dan again. And I like Dan. I think he was an excellent guest. I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And we love all of our guests.
We do.
We
Yes.
talk about y'all so
We done
nice.
had some great
Sheila
people.
Fan. We had our Sheila.
Fan. Oh
We-
my God.
We had our
Todd
Audrey.
Christian.
Yes.
We had D
Wood.
Wood. We
Yes.
had Chevy.
Yes.
Oh my God, we done had a lot of people. We had Rashida and her daughter, the momager,
Erica and Mia.
Yes, we have.
So
had
we
some
appreciate
great
you
stuff.
guys. We got
Yes.
some people, we will be doing a podcast tomorrow. You saw the information. Yeah. I
Yes.
put it for my crazy self. But she has some powerful information. She shows you how to invest where it doesn't cost you that much. And that's something I definitely at my age want to get off into a little bit more.
Yes.
She's got a lot, like, whew, we couldn't even stay on the phone because she just
Okay.
had so much to share. And she
Yeah.
was, and you know who gave her to us? Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie, the insurance lady.
Stephanie,
Yes,
yay.
yes. So she said, "Hey, I got somebody y'all need to talk to." And then we have an Emilio coming on, has a TV show, and he wants to meet with us next week. So we got some people coming.
Okay.
I just look forward to it. I love working with my cousin, my Diavier. Listen, y'all don't know when this goes off, our conversations have you on the floor. We were always the two family members that people wanted to sit up in the corner.
Okay. They knew we was talking about something.
Yeah, they talking about something and we be looking at them just laughing.
We had that look on our face.
That's why we can't come to the family reunion now. But listen, guys, we're gonna let y'all go. We love that you tune in, and hopefully more will still come and watch and listen because he shared some great information. Dan DiBardino, Crime Stoppers of Michigan, no longer Southeastern Michigan. He said they cover the whole Michigan. So the entire
Michigan, yes.
Livingston.
Congratulations.
Yes. So
yes.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and we're gonna count down. Can we do it on time now?
Let's do it on time.
Okay,
Let's do
you
it
count
on
this time.
All right. You want me to count?
Yeah, you count.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I can count. All right. Okay. On three.
On
1,
three.
2, 3. Detroit Press Play.
And we out.
No, why you so slow? You should have went.
I said it slow because you normally say it slow.
Dang,
so I slow down.
Let's do it one more time.
One more time.
Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Detroit Press Play. All
right, they get the point.
Y'all get it. Y'all get it.
We're gonna be on time. We're gonna create the song. All right, we out. Peace.